Okay, so you need the surface area of the cone, which you all know. If you don't know it yet, you have it on your sheet. It's pi r squared plus pi r slant. Yes? Now, there's a couple of ways you can go about doing this problem. There's the way that you want to do this, which is the way you have always done math problems like this, which is what I'm going to do in blue right now. You substitute in what you know, and then you solve the equation. Yeah? So what do you know here? You know the surface area, and you know the radius. So what do you get to put in this formula? Surface area where? Where it says surface area. 1,200 equals pi. What goes in for r? 5 squared plus pi times 5 times s. Yes? And then we would solve this algebraically, right? So let's do so. 1,200 equals 25 pi plus 5 pi s. Now here is where you guys are going to screw up because of the way I have written it. Right? You are looking at that right now, and you are seeing that symbol. What is that symbol really? It's a number, isn't it? 25 pi is a number, right? So how would you get rid, and it's a positive number, isn't it? So what would you do if instead of 25 pi here, I had 31? What would you do with that 31 if we were trying to get s by itself? Add it? You would subtract it, right? From both sides. Yeah? So, since you all know what to do when it's a number, do the rules change when it looks different? No. Of course not. So you need to subtract 25 pi, yes? And once you subtract it from the right-hand side, what must you do to the left-hand side? Same thing. So you have 1,200 minus 25 pi, yes? And that equals 5 pi s. Now again, you look at this and you see this pi here and you forget algebra. 5 pi is just a number, isn't it? It's around 15, right? So this is really 15s, isn't it? So what would you do to get rid of this if it were a 15? Divide, because this is times s, isn't it? So what am I going to do to get rid of 5 pi? Divide. So if I divide the right side by 5 pi, what must I do to the left? Divide. So s equals this. Now, when you punch that into your calculator, what must you remember, or you will get the wrong answer? There is something that is not written there that you must do on your calculator. You will get the wrong answer. Tavleen. Brackets, where? Where do the brackets need to go there? On the top. Because if you don't put the brackets in when you use your calculator, you're going to do 1,200 minus 25 pi divided by 5 pi, which is 5. And your answer is going to be 1,195. By doing it like... Without the brackets. Yes, without the brackets. Yes. That's not right. I know. Right. So you need to remember the brackets to put in there. Now, yes?
So for like where, isn't there like an addition sign? So if they're both just numbers, wouldn't you just add 25 pi and then 5 pi?
No, because that's 5 pi s. Think about grade 9. Could you do this? 31 plus 15s. No, because they're not like terms. Everybody cool? Don't be fooled by pi.
Wait, what's the answer?
I don't know. Let's check.
Yeah, please solve it.
Bracket 1,200 minus 25 pi, close brackets, divided by 5 pi. Oakley dokley.
Wait, let me try this again. So,
If you don't have a fancy calculator like mine, and you've got a regular calculator,
multiply.
okay, that's the wrong answer. Why? I made an error in the calculator. What did I do wrong? We discussed it even, and I still screwed it up. What did I do wrong, Matt?
Did you not do bracket inside the bracket around the 225 pi?
No, that's okay, but it is brackets that I screwed up. What did I tell my calculator to do there? What does this part tell my calculator to do? 1,200 minus 25 pi in brackets. So my calculator is going to do that, isn't it? And then what does this line tell my calculator to do? Divide by what? No. Yeah. Because this is an operation, isn't it? So what did I forget? Brackets where? On the 5 pi. Because according to this, my calculator did this properly, then it divided by 5, and then it multiplied everything by pi. Gotta have brackets on both. So you do the same thing. Bracket 1,200 minus 25 pi, close brackets, divided by new bracket 5 pi. Bracket equals. There we go. Now, stop for a second. How did I know I did it wrong? The number's too big, isn't it? Right? How could my slant height be 704 and have my surface area only be 1,200? Everybody understand? Right? Because if you look at the formula, if my slant height's 704 and my radius is 5, then just RS is 3,500, isn't it? Right? And the answer had to be 1,200, yes? Does everybody see what I mean? See how easy... Did any of us, me included, do our math wrong? No. Where did I go wrong? Punching buttons into my calculator. Is that doing your math wrong? No. Where do you save yourself? What's the difference between you guys and me? When I saw that, I stopped for a second and double checked. Right? That's the difference between even an A student and a C plus student. The A student looks at that answer and says, that cannot be right. You do not believe your calculator. Because did my calculator do what I told it to do? Yes. Did it give me the right answer? Yeah, for what I told it to do. But what I told it to do was wrong. Everybody understand? Everybody cool? Now, the point I was making with all this is the way we wanted to do this, yeah? But as you go forward in other classes that deal with math, like physics and chemistry, you may need to move a formula around without numbers. So keep our formula, SA pi r squared plus pi rs. You might have a situation where you got to get S by itself without any numbers. Especially in physics. They love doing this in physics classes. How would you find gravity? But not give you any numbers. So, would anything change here? No, it wouldn't, would it? It would be surface area minus pi r squared, right? divided by pi r would get me S. Now, if I do that, can I then take my surface area and my r's and put them right in here? And then I don't have any issues, do I? Then I don't have this problem. Oh, do I divide by 5? Do I divide by pi? Is it plus? Is it minus? Does everybody see what's happening here? It's another way to do it that even though it feels weird at the beginning because there's no numbers, at the end, I find this way to be easier. Do I care what you do? Do I care which of these methods you use? No, of course not. So let's look at our next question. Volume of a cylinder is 500. The height is 20. Find the radius. So volume of a cylinder is always, since it's a circular prism, is area of the base times the height. Yes? What is the area of what is the base of a circle? What is the base of a cylinder? Circle. So it's pi r squared h. Right? Now, you know the volume, you know the height. So you need to find r. You can do either side. I don't care which one. You can either put in the numbers and then move it around, or you can move it around with just letters. I prefer to move it around with just letters and then put my numbers in. That's what I prefer to do. I prefer to do this side. You don't have to, though. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do this. I need r by itself. So it's going to be v. I got v equals pi r squared h. So I need r by itself. So how do I get rid of pi and h? What math is happening that you see with pi and h? They're multiplying. So how do I get rid of that in algebra? Divide. So I got to divide this side by pi and h. They're going to cancel. So now I have r squared equals v divided by pi h. How do I get rid of r squared? Square root, just like at the end of Pythagoras, right? So I square root. So r equals the square root of v over pi h. And now I know v and I know h. I can put it all in at once. Everybody cool? Again, I don't care what way you do this. It is totally up to you, whatever way you like. Now, if you're going to do this with numbers, 500 equals pi r squared times 20. So it's going to be 500 divided by 20 pi and then square root. Now, many of you are going to have trouble putting that into your calculator, yes? All at once, right? How would you think you would put that into calculator all at once? Just think about it for a sec. One crack at your buttons. It's difficult. Think before you talk. It's really difficult to do it in one shot. Am I ever going to test you on calculator skill? No, of course not. You don't have to be able to do it in one shot. But let's remember, as you go further and further into math, the work on your calculator is going to get longer and longer and longer, yeah? So the more stuff you can do in one shot, the better. So everybody try and get this in one go. And then just write down your answer on your piece of paper. You don't have to say it out loud. But talk to your neighbor. Talk about what you got to do here, what you think you got to do to get it all in one shot. I'll give you a hint. You need 2 sets of brackets. Because you need the square root of this whole thing, don't you? And inside that whole thing, you need another set of brackets, don't you?
I think I've got.
Okay, so everybody try it. Okay. So this is what you would need to hit. Now remember, guys, listen please. Some of you have backwards thinking calculators. Like if you need to do the square root of 4, you got to hit 4, then the square root button. How many of you have a calculator like that works backwards? Okay. Remember, you got to be aware of how your machine works. And how many of you have a forward calculator where you, if you were to do the square root of 4, you would go square root 4 equals. That's everybody else, right? So the two calculators are going to do this totally differently, aren't they? So if you have a forward calculator, that's you punch stuff in the way you see it. You would need to hit your square root button, bracket, 500 divided by bracket 20 pi. You might need a times there, I don't know. Bracket, and then equals. Now just stop for a sec. Some of you are stressed by that. Do you have to do it all in one shot at this level? No, of course not. You could just do the inside and then square root your answer, right? I'll get to that in a sec. If you have the backwards calculator, then you got to do this in the complete reverse order. 500 divided by bracket 20 pi bracket equals square root. And that's if you've got the backwards calculator. And the answer, where's my calculator? Square root, bracket, oh, I got to turn it on first. Square root, bracket, 500 divided by, bracket, 20 pi, yes? 20 pi, close brackets. So see, I've got the 20 pi bracketed. Then a second bracket, because the square root has to be the 500 divided by 20 pi, yes? Then enter. $2.82. Yes.
I did brackets around the square root symbol, and I got the same answer.
Okay, again, that's monkeying about with your calculator. Brackets around the square root just groups it all together, which is what I did. Right? When you put the square root first and then bracket inside, you're square rooting everything anyway. Right? Max.
My calculator doesn't have like a long step thing, but I still got the right answer by doing like a short step.
Yeah, that's fine. You could get yours in one shot. But you got to push an equal sign there. Okay? Actually, you could do this, Max. If you did double brackets, you wouldn't need to push equals. If you hit bracket, 500 divided, bracket, 20 pi, bracket, then square root, you would get the right answer. Try it. So open bracket, 500 divided by, open bracket again, 20 pi, then close bracket,
159.1.
now square root.
Wait, is this 12.6?
So it didn't work. Let me try. I'm interested because I don't use these anymore.
Yeah,
Almost nobody has these anymore. Bracket.
So, that's my sister. Is that with a 4?
Where's your pi button? Oh, I found it. Never mind.
What do you do?
Yeah. So yeah, yours didn't work. You had to do 2 steps.
I had to do 20 times pi, and then I got 62.83. Then I did 500 divided by 62.83, which got me 7.92. And then I square rooted that, and I got 2.82.
Nope, I was able to make it work.
Oh.
Okay, you just needed to hit 20 times pi inside that second brackets. Okay? Now, guys, again, this seems stupid right now, yeah? This seems dumb because why would you, like, it's only 3 steps. Why wouldn't you just go step by step by step? Yeah? Right? But I'm trying to prepare you for future problems. We could do the quiz now because I could say that the rest of that page is your homework for tonight and that would be it. Yep. Okay, quiz. Have your data booklets out.
Wait, can I see this one? Can I have it on my desk just in case? Mine's like
9:15. I think. The quiz is only 1, 2, 3. It's only like 5 questions.
Oh, the block is short.
Yes.
Yo,
That's why I'm stopping.
But if we get 2 of those wrong, that's 3 out of 5.
Take one, pass it back. Take one, pass it back. When they get to Chaz, pass it over.
Oh my goodness.
Stay cool, sister.
The thing is, he says it's only out of 5, but that means if you get 2 wrong, you're done.
There is a question on hemispheres, yes.
Can we write down the formula?
You can develop your own formula the way I taught you to develop it. It's a volume of hemispheres, so it's pretty easy. Where's that pile of quizzes?
Hemisphere? A hemisphere you just have to divide by 2 after, because it's half of a sphere.
Joshua, pass them back. I said take one, pass the quizzes along. First try, Lego Batman. Lauren gets one too, Max. Holy.
Okay.
And you have for the rest of the class, which is about 16 minutes, 17 minutes. Don't worry about the date, Lauren. Do math. Yeah? That dotted line is the diameter. Because that's a cylinder with a cone on top of it. Mm-hmm.